At the time of filming this, my TikTok For You page is mostly about Squid Game edits or Trump supporters getting humbled. So finally, some good fucking content. But besides that, I keep seeing a lot of the same trending videos, and I was inspired to draw a couple of my favorite ones. Oh, this is one of my favorite videos.
My favorite expression in English is the one that says, never bite the hand of the one that fingers you, something like that.
Unfortunately, I'm not brave enough to draw that. I don't know if any of you have been on the mermaid goddess side of TikTok. It's a video where this woman has an elephant painting on her wall, but she thinks it's a mermaid goddess. She doesn't see an elephant at all, like she bought it thinking it was a mermaid goddess.
Here we have the figure of the mermaid goddess. She has, as you can see, a very textured tail. So you can see her arms pointing out. Someone commented, why doesn't she have hands? That's just the kind of mermaid goddess she is. She doesn't have hands. So here she is. Oh my god, it's so clear to me. Like, here she is. Yeah, so if I look really hard, like right now I don't see the elephant at all, especially because I just explained the mermaid goddess so much. Like,
so this is what she apparently sees. Like, this is the face, the arms, and the tail. And the funniest part is, the more I keep seeing this, the deeper I sink into this hellhole, the more I start seeing it. I've been gaslit into seeing a mermaid goddess. I don't know if she's being serious or just messing with people, but it's been entertaining. I wanted to draw my own version of the mermaid goddess, and I could have made her this beautiful human-like mermaid, but since it's me, I'm going to make this weird. So when I look at this, I see a seaworm, like a giant seaworm. So I turned her into a seaworm mermaid goddess. And I started with this ugly looking lump, just to get some basic shape and idea of what I wanted her to look like. But she looked a bit too much like a walrus here. I wanted her torso and neck to be much slimmer and longer, like a worm. So I ended up changing her shape quite a bit, because I really wanted her to resemble the original painting, but still give myself the freedom to create my own weird mermaid goddess and just go wild. For the background, I had a pretty clear idea. I pictured this secluded cove with rocks, blue water, seagulls, cliffs in the distance. Just a proper detailed background, like something straight out of Porco Rosso, if you know. Like, that was my vision. So her arms look like elephant tusks, because they are, literally. And the tail already looked very worm-like, like it's really long and it's wrapping around the rocks. And of course I gave her that mermaid slash fish tail. And one thing I absolutely love is drawing birds. And I used a lot of references for the seagulls to capture them as realistically as possible. Some are sitting on the mermaid while others are flying. And I tried my best to create movement in the picture. Like, you could almost hear the waves and seagulls screaming and flapping their wings. So seaworms come in many different types and sizes. They live in various ocean environments. They can be found in the sand, mud, on the ocean floor. Some can be found in the deep sea. They can produce light. Some seaworms can even regenerate body parts. So I find them super interesting. And there are also predatory seaworms that have these circular mouths filled with teeth. And I gave her that kind of mouth, so that makes her a predator. But it makes sense to me, like, that feels realistic. She would definitely eat fish, crabs, small sharks, and even humans. I don't personally like how mermaids are nowadays portrayed as these beautiful, friendly women, like in The Little Mermaid, which is what many people today associate mermaids with. Because throughout history, in different mythologies, mermaids were often depicted as dangerous and sinister creatures. And there are countless dark stories and beliefs about mermaids, like them luring sailors to their deaths with their songs. And I prefer that. So I imagine this mermaid living deep in the ocean, hunting fish and other sea creatures. She doesn't have eyes, so she would hunt based on sound and chemical signals, like some seaworms do. And sometimes she would come up to the surface and snatch a swimmer or a child who's wandered too far from shore. She would also be able to mimic human-like voices or sing to lure people in, but it's not like proper singing. She can't like make words. It's more like this eerie sound that would still trick people, and it would be terrifying. And I also like to think she hides behind those rocks or in the shallow water. So if someone comes to swim or fish, she grabs them and pulls them under. So yeah, isn't she the most beautiful mermaid you've ever seen? This should be the next The Little Mermaid remake. So her body would always have all kinds of sea creatures stuck to it, like those little shells and starfish, and the seagulls help her get rid of them by eating them. So they are her friends, and every time she rises to the surface, they come right to her, and she's so happy about it. Like it's a big relief. She has seaweed as hair and wrapped around her, and she uses them as decoration. And in the painting, she has those different colored patterns and spots, like floral designs, so added similar ones to her too. And I gave her golden rings on her arms because those yellow things, they remind me of jewels. I also did this quick sketch of her that shows her body more clearly. And she would be huge, as you can see, like compared to the seagulls. But yeah, I hope you like my version of the mermaid goddess. I generally like the idea that mermaids wouldn't even resemble humans at all, but would be more animal-like creatures that behave like animals. Like they could be giant seaworms. Next I drew the anglerfish, or the black sea devilfish that lately went viral online and on TikTok. These fish live in the complete darkness of the deep sea, and for the first time one was filmed swimming near the surface in Spain in broad daylight. Unfortunately, the fish died shortly after, and people really quickly adopted her as the mascot for revolution and change. From the darkness of anonymity, she rises to join the light of revolution. By force of will, she shall rise. This feels so fitting of 2025. Her name should be Anglerfish, considering recent events. And I'll admit, I got pretty emotional over this little fish. For my last day, I think I'm gonna go to see the sunlight. For the first time she saw a light she didn't create herself. But yeah, the fish was unfortunately injured and she died. No one really knows why it decided to come to the surface, but she really moved people. I saw all kind of edits and shirts and stickers of the fish with the text "She rises," and I got inspired. So I got this silly idea to redraw the Ponyo poster with the anglerfish. I immediately saw this poster in my mind because Ponyo peeks out from under her little bubble, and I thought it fit the anglerfish really well because she swam a long way just to peek above the surface. Well, she didn't do exactly that, but I thought it could be a feel-good and cute idea even though the fish's fate wasn't exactly good or positive. And I didn't want to draw the fish too cute or stylish. I wanted to keep her pretty realistic looking. Yeah, she's not the prettiest creature, but that doesn't matter. She's perfect just like that. I saw a lot of comments on TikTok saying Disney should make a movie about this anglerfish, like it would be such a great story. But honestly, fuck Disney. Like, no way, not the AI Disney. Like, Ghibli would be way better option. And if they ever made like a short film about this fish, you know, let's just play with the idea, they would probably do a really good job. So I've always loved this poster because of its simplicity. Like the blue and the layout and everything is just so pleasing to the eye. Like the use of space is so good. And if I didn't know anything about the movie, this would instantly catch my interest. Like all Ghibli movie posters are always really pleasing and well designed. I replaced the Ponyo text with "She rises" because it's a major theme in these videos about this fish, how brave she is, rising from the depths, joining the revolution and so on. And I actually hand drew the text. I tried to make it look as close to the original font as I could because I couldn't find the font anywhere. I think it's hand drawn, and I tried to copy it the best as I could. I really enjoyed making this because it was so simple and she turned out so cute. And I know the story of the anglerfish didn't end well, but if we forget all that for a second and seriously imagine what kind of story Ghibli could tell with this concept, honestly, it could really make an interesting and wholesome story. Like a deep sea fish who, out of curiosity, decides one day to explore the ocean and the surface, and she would discover a whole new world, meet new friends, new enemies, new creatures, maybe even a mermaid. Just don't kill the fish, please. And here are both drawings. I hope you like them. It's actually pretty funny that both are ocean themed. Let me know what you think, or if you've seen these videos. Are you on the mermaid goddess and anglerfish side on TikTok? I hope you enjoyed this. Yesterday was Valentine's Day and I spent it in the hospital. I had surgery, nothing too serious, but I still need to take it easy. I'm not fully back to my normal, wonderful self. Luckily, I got to go home the same day. I scrambled out of the bed like, I gotta go. I need to go home and film a fucking YouTube video. Like any sane person would say. But yeah, I'm fine now, no worries. Thanks for watching this. Check out my last video where I drew my latest flea market finds. It's surprisingly wholesome this time. Be sure to subscribe, ding the bell, and as always, stay adorable. And I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.